Hello everyone. My name is Alex Lazaris, and I am so unbelievably stoked to be here with y'all with another episode of Design Blitz. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. It is a very wet and rainy Los Angeles day. We'll take the rain though. It's pretty great. So without further ado, if you don't know what Design Blitz is a literal blitz of designing. We're going to do an hour-long sprint. I always like to try to get as much work done as possible. Typically, this takes a form of like create a brand, get the collateral done, get some marketing stuff done, or maybe it's like building a social template for a client, whatever it is. I just try to speed through it, show you what you can do in an hour. Today, we're going to be actually doing a blockchain brand challenge. The goal was to spend like less than 5 hours on it. I've spent about 2, I think, on the logo and some iterations around there, some research, some type stuff. So now today, all we're going to do is we're going to start plugging it in. We're going to start building some collateral. We're going to build it in Photoshop. We're going to do some little Illustrator stuff. We're going to build like a website, some social templates, a bunch of things like that. So it's going to be really, really fast. But as always, chat. I love to have you guys as like my hovering art directors. Let me know what I could be doing better. What are your ideas? What are you thinking? Stuff like that. If you don't know who I am, I'm Alex Lazaris. I run a little design studio called Lazaris. You can check out our work over at wearelazarus.com. That's Lazaris. Go over to the website, check it out. You can play with the little like logo thingy we built. It's really sweet. And then you can check out our work. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this project. I'm just trying to like break this down as like how I would approach any kind of project when it gets put on my plate. Do a little bit of research. Let's look at it, like from a Bitcoin, crypto, Web3 space. There's a lot of stuff happening in that space. A lot of very like ambiguous terminology, a lot of jargon that people maybe not familiar with the space are going to get hung up on. And there's a lot of flash. There's a lot of pizzazz, a lot of like interesting visuals that people are trying to use to like convey concepts that are pretty abstract and like don't have like a frame of reference from like normal day-to-day non-online stuff. Like you have a frame of reference when you go to the grocery store. You know what a tomato is. You probably don't know what a blockchain is unless you've been in that space. So a lot of the times you have to like educate people. And I think a lot of these brands, they try to like build collateral in a way that's like enticing for you as a user, visually appealing to pull you in. So what I did was I just went through and like pulled some blockchain brands, pulled some like understanding of how they look at stuff. Z by HP Tech says, the man in the back said, everyone attack, and then it turned into a design blitz. Yeah, there you go. That's what we're doing. We're attacking design today. We're going to go as quick, as nimbly-bimbly as possible. All right. So back into this, what we're doing here is just looking at like how other brands are communicating with their collateral system. This Galaxy blockchain solution is actually like a really interesting, very minimalist. I like how they actually did a bunch of their like illustrations. I liked their, they have like I think it's like a HTML5 like div here, or like a JavaScript script thing where it like follows your cursor and these like shapes kind of like overlap and interact. The Solana stuff is like a 3D gradient stuff. You're going to see a lot of 3D shapes, a lot of like gradients. Ethereum.org site has these really nice like illustration systems, kind of reminiscent of like what old Robinhood did with like Mobius style graphics. Really, really nice, really clean. Definitely like gives them like a strong brand presence whenever you go to their website. Avalanche's like website is very like, we've got like data points kind of going around. Not my favorite aesthetic. It's very, I don't know. Don't fully love it. It kind of reminds me of like old 90s, 2000s graphic styles. But it's for their brand. They want to differentiate. They definitely look different. BNB Chain has this like really blocky cube logo. And they got these like cube illustrations as well. Yeah. Let's see, I'm pulling. Polygon has, again, like you see a lot of these like how do we chain, how do we block kind of logos in there. A lot of like very geometric sans serifs pulling in there as well. And then they got these like kind of offset cubes, kind of broken apart. And then they've got some like 3D illustrations as well. These are animated on the website. So we're just looking at like how is everybody kind of doing it and coming to the market. For this brief specifically, they wanted to really focus on like it being intuitive and user-friendly and agile and flexible. Specifics for the brand that they wanted was like modern, innovative. They want it to feel like really cutting edge, but also like trustworthy and secure. They want it to feel like a financial platform that people want to like put their money in and like not worrying about getting hacked. And they also want it to feel super simple and intuitive. So you'll kind of see how I start to like incorporate these kind of points of feedback while also keeping it like modern and like recognizable and playing into some of these tropes that you see like some of the competitors doing as well. For the logo, they want the logo that's simple, modern, and easy to recognize. It should be unique and memorable and a clear representation of our brand values. So keeping that in mind, they're modern, innovative, trustworthy, and secure, and simple and intuitive. Color scheme, they want a color scheme that is modern, clean, and visually appealing. And then they want a type system that like makes it modern, clear, and easy to read and consistent with the logo and color schemes. So I think sometimes when you get like a brief around like type like this, specifically around type systems, building a really nice type system that like pairs with a logo sometimes is all about not incorporating the logo typeface. And I think for this project, we're going to actually incorporate the logo typeface because it's such a tight timeline. So we just kind of have to like keep in mind we can only spend 5 hours on this project. Let's like get it done really quickly to the best of our abilities and know that like if we're to try to like leverage little things in different type pairings that like call back to the logo type without being the header type, it gets a little bit, like it's a lot of work. It works really well and it can really pair really nicely, but it's going to be harder than just taking the logo type and then using it as header copy. All right. Social, they want to see like social mockups, and we'll do that at the end as well. Penny says lurking because I got to eat soon, but hello pals. Hello Penny. Hope you enjoy your yummy food. Hopefully it's delish. All right. So let me like walk you through a bunch of my logo explorations, knowing that we wanted it to be like trustworthy and communicative, and then like recognizable. I ended up playing a lot with the like cube motifs. I had one where I was trying to like, this is it with like my little guides and stuff I was trying to make. I ended up pulling it like here. I tried to do this where it was like playing into the blockchain idea. I wanted to like build some cubes and some blocks to like build the framework for there. I wanted it to like also feel digital. I like the idea of incorporating the L's in the shapes, but then obviously like if you've put these together, it doesn't pair as well. Like if they're all in one frame. I think I might have an example somewhere. Yeah, like this flow, if you were to just do the cube like this square on the right side feels like you want to have it over here. And then you probably would want to like rotate. You'd probably want to like rotate it like that. So you have like the square here, and maybe that works. It's definitely an option, but I wanted the L to be like more dominant than just like that. So I was trying to keep it like all L's instead. I ended up going different art routes. I tried to play a bunch with like, if there's a way to like create like a concentric circle with like kind of motion by different scales of like squares or hexagons and octagons. Try to just do a bunch of different iterations. Z's asking, what's for lunch, Penny? I agree. What is for lunch, Penny? What you got for us? You got to share. Penny says, just secretly snacks. You know how it'd be. It's funny. I'm not really a snack person. I like full meals as my snacks. All right. So here's another like abstract version. I started with like creating L's and then flipping them and trying to like play a little bit with motion. I don't know, maybe I was watching too much Dune and I felt like some of the stuff could be like architecture for it. It could be cool. But none of that was like really feeling like blockchain really. I had a couple options here. I was trying to incorporate like a 3D cube approach to it, where it's like you could kind of see like a 3D L happening, and then wanted to pair more and more of that shape in there. Trying to get that 3D shape in there. I wanted to play with the stroke weight of it to make it feel like there was like a brightness, so you have like actual shading of the cube rather than just like straight black, because if you do straight black then it doesn't really work. And I don't really love doing like duotone like logos super much, because I think it just isn't my favorite approach to logos. I know there's a place and time and place for them. It just feels, I try to always think of like the most minimal shape and use case of a logo, and I want it to be like super clear without using like different opacities and different shading techniques to like give it that depth. So I always want it to be super legible. Yeah, McCorn says, yeah, full meals and snacks. Yeah, that's me. I love to eat. Peter Beck says, I do like the negative space ideas. Yeah, the negative space ideas were fun. And then I started going down this path of like trying to make an L, but also kind of like a digital leaf kind of, and then it was like a square as well. So I used square as like, because of the blockchain idea, I was really trying to lean into like the cube and the block and the square ideas. So I like everything here is like very, very, very sharp, very geometric. I tried to play with like a couple like, okay, if we rounded it out, can we make an L? I've done like, you know, full versions of it where it's just like all three. That didn't really feel very good. Then we have like a bunch of different iterations here playing with like scale to kind of give some of that dynamicism. I wanted it to feel, for these examples, like scalable and dynamic, and like things are kind of always changing, and maybe there's like innovation happening here. So there's a bunch of different riffs on that idea. This kind of feels like a retro L like shape, which I kind of like, but I felt like it was maybe too curved. So I tried a version with like curves and like straight lines, and it just wasn't my favorite. There was like also the idea of like doing a monogram approach here. It was like the L. Oh, the brand name. I forgot to tell y'all. The brand name is Lois. Lois? I don't know how to explain it correctly. So that's what that would explain. Oh my God. Yep. That's the brand name. So that's why I was playing with the L's so many times. Jack says so many squares. There's so many squares. So I took this idea as well on this like geometric L leaf shape, and then I started duplicating it. Created these like fun little snowflakes. But it's February and we're almost out of winter, so we're not going to do the snowflake approach. Here's another like one that was on the scrap board, playing again with like the geometric, trying to create shapes, trying to create like a little bit of negative space in there. Yeah, Peter's like, well, that helps. Yeah, you know, chat's over here like, what are you talking about? Why are we doing L's? I don't understand. That's why. This was kind of interesting. I was trying to like do like an L shape again, but then it started to feel like a Space Invader, but it also kind of could be cool as like a crown or like a mountain range or something like that. But I don't really have like a huge backstory for the brand for these directions. So I'm just going to scrap it. Like this has no meaning or bearing for the brand. So I just killed it. And then eventually, I started doing like a bunch of grid stuff, just trying to see what we can do. Was there a way to like have it like thick? Does it feel better that way? If we rotate these, does it do anything? And then like playing with the negative space inside a square. All these were just kind of like different options. But eventually I just landed back at one of my earlier concepts, which was this just square, very, very simple, very like gridded up. And you got this L, you got the block, you've got, you know, a lot of fun things you can do there. Oh, I also had this where it's like, maybe you could treat it as like a, I don't know, a chain. There's a B in there. There's L's, but I didn't love it. I loved this direction the most, so that's what I ended up choosing. And then I started playing with like type pairings. Like, okay, do I do a type pairing based off the same grid system? Then this one was like, originally I did it with these blocks to match the full height of the the actual like logo mark. And then I shortened it to fit the internal size of it. Just trying to keep it all really, really geometric. Did a bunch of different type pairings. Nippo was another type pairing I did. Oh, here's this LS version as well. This one's kind of nice too, but the brand, I think putting the end consonant on it is more confusing than it is like clear. So I think just keeping it like this very simple grid L. Penny says, how much do you show the client? How do you narrow it down? It depends on the client, the budget, and the timeline. I'm pretty open and transparent with my clients. I typically will have a good understanding of like which direction's the best. Most times we do like one solid presentation, and then we'll do like, if there's a couple directions that we feel really strongly about, then I'll present multiple concepts. If it's a tight timeline like this, I would do the presentation in a way it's like, hey, this is all we had time to do. This is my favorite direction. This is where I think you should go with it. But here's some like, here's like an explorations page and the reason why these didn't work. And then that way they can see kind of like some of the homework that happened behind the scenes. And then it goes into like why this solid direction is the best direction for their brand. And I think especially for brands, we oftentimes get really, really hung up on the logo. And I love making logos, and I think logos are really important. But for these brands, like showing how the collateral system works, how the brand comes to life is like really the most important thing, because how the brand lives every day and how consumers interact with it and people find your brand and how they work with it, like how they see it in the marketing collateral in the world is going to be way more important than like the logo. So for this project, I wanted to make the logo really solid, memorable, yada, yada, yada. But where this brand is going to start to come to life is the collateral system that I'm thinking of. And I'm going to work through that with y'all in a second. Peter says, how do you find clients? I'm really lucky. I have a lot of clients that are referrals, or they've like seen like an article or like press pieces about the work that I've done. So I'm really lucky. I don't do any marketing, for better or worse. I should, but I'm very lucky at where I'm at in my career, where people naturally are finding me without me having to do work, which, take that as a grain of salt. That's very lucky, and I'm very fortunate right now. There's definitely times of feasting and famine though. So yeah. All right. So I ended up pairing this, this logo that I made. I tried a bunch of different explorations with like other, like geometric sans serifs. I ended up using Swiss. Swiss is a like utilitarian Swiss typeface. It's sans serif. It's like, I think a really nice pairing. It's still very legible. It's not super like geometric where it's just like a solid circle. It's still got a little bit of that like natural like O shapes that are like actually help with readability. So I kept it like, we're keeping this readable, we're keeping it friendly, but it's still like very geometrically sound, as much as like, it's not, I would say it's like 80% mathematical and 20% like natural and like visually optimized. So it's like really nice. Like it's one of my favorite typefaces. And yeah, it's great. So that's what we're gonna do for the type. Penny says, interesting, showing less in my mind made it easier to herd the client to the decision. It's cool to hear how you help them reach a decision without overwhelming them. Yeah, I've gone through it all, where you present 3 different directions and they go, I want a little bit of A, B, and C all into one thing. And you're just like, okay, well, now it's not really going to be as effective as any of those singular options. But at the same time, like my job as a designer is to like make sure that the client is happy and they get exactly what they want. So we can guide and nurture and like be strategic about how we like walk them through the process, but also at the same time, like it's a service industry. Like my clients stay with me because I provide a good service for them and they come back for more of that service. So there's many times I will just open up on a call. I'll just be like, hey, let's hop on a call. And I will literally design with the client on the call, just so that they can have like full transparency. They can have their opinions like heard. I can be like, oh, that doesn't work because XYZ. Let me show you really quickly, rather than being like, I don't know. I think a lot of designers get really precious about their work, and then they get like, they dig their heels in and they go, that won't work. And they get like kind of angry when the client says something. So I try to pull that back and be like, you know what? Here, let me show you why I don't think this works, but maybe it works for the client. And like, they come to me for my taste, but at the same time, it's their baby. They have to live with it after, the brand launches or whatever. So it's definitely a balancing act when you're like working with people, and there's no perfect solution. All right. So what I ended up doing was I ended up using a little bit of ChatGPT just to give me some like body copy and stuff to like help me do some pairing with the type. Being that this is a blockchain, it's very digital, it's very like online community based. I wanted the type to both be like friendly and human, so that's why we're using Swiss, and I'm pairing that with a monospace font, space mono, to kind of give it a little bit of that like dashboard, early DOS, like computer monitor feel. So you get a little bit of that like tension between like, this is like a very like, I don't know, for like non-designers, this will feel like Helvetica or Arial, and it's like very just like Swiss type design. It's like posters, like, it's very like human, it's very like friendly, it's approachable, but it's also like very utilitarian. It communicates, it's like, it's steady, it's steadfast, it's a nice typeface. And then I just pair it with a smaller light version for the body copy. So that's what we're doing with that typeface. Since we're going to do Collateral, there might be opportunities where we do some like more specifically with space mono, but we'll just play with it. All right. So what we're going to do is just like quickly do like a website mock-up. I'm going to show you where I'm taking this design Collateral now. And then we're going to start pulling it into like poster designs and things like that. So let me just make like a new artboard. Do like 1400 wide by 800 to start. And then I'm just going to change up my screen. I'm going to grab this. The future Bitcoin starts here. Yeah. I'll do that. So I'm gonna grab this. I did a little bit of a kit bash. For those of you who don't know what kit bashing is, it's where you take like assets or asset packs and like help you get to your kind of like get to like a good state really quickly, right? So since we don't have that much time, I couldn't spend a ton of time generating images or finding like assets or illustrating things. So what I ended up doing was going to youworkforthem.com, and then I ended up getting these like 3D assets, and I'll show you. I've got these just like very cool 3D assets that are kind of abstract. They kind of fall in that same realm of like what you're seeing with like Solana and other like blockchains. So let me pull up my Photoshop. And then what I did was I took these, sorry, I was just finding type misspellings in the generative type. What I ended up doing was I took those PNGs and then I ran them through a bitmap Photoshop script. And that bitmap Photoshop script allowed me to create this really great dithering texture effect. For some reason, my Photoshop is just not loading right now. Okay, there we go. Cool. So you see, like I ran this bitmap texture effect here. And so that's like just a really great way to incorporate that same design aesthetic from the logo, where it's like, boom, squares everywhere. We got bits, we got blocks. See, now you see where I'm going? You see where I'm going, chat? All right. So we're going to bring this in. We're going to get the logo set up. I'm just going to grab this, throw this in here. We're just going to do this as like a quick like example of like where I think the brand collateral system will go before we start doing like some poster mockups and things. I'll just bring that up there. And then I'm going to grab these shapes. So I ended up creating a bunch of like halftone versions of these like cool shapes. Each one is a different like fidelity level. The pixels get smaller and smaller and smaller. I want the pixels to be pretty large. The bitmap tool that I have gives you like 10 of them. So I'm going to be using like number 2. I've got this here. Yeah, I'm going to take this. We still haven't defined the color palette yet, so let's do that. So for colors, I'm thinking that when you think of like secure and trustworthy and like simple as tried and true trope that everyone tries to do, they use blue. Blue is that status quo. You got Twitter, Facebook, like you name it, a million companies use blue to like show you that trust and safety with it. To keep it like modern and simple, I'm going to use the I'm going to use the very potent, very bright blue that is like the hotness. Everybody's been using it for a bit now. I think people are now starting to move into like just the primary red now instead of the blue for certain things, but I still love it. I think this is one of my favorites. Like this is kind of like that Burberry blue when Burberry rebranded. It's still like that's kind of this blue. So I love that. I also think that this blue specifically feels very it feels like a DOS screen a bit. I know the DOS screen's a little bit brighter, I think, but I think that's gonna make it feel like you're on an old computer. And then I think we're just gonna do like white. So we've got like 2 shades of blue, maybe a black if we really need it. We'll do a black. So we got black, white, blue. Very, very simple brand color palette, but I think some of that is like, that simplicity is really gonna feel really nice for this brand. Cool. Now I'm just gonna go back into this. I'm going to grab, so we've got this. I'm going to put that behind. I'm going to turn all this type white. I'm going to just grab the blue. And then I'm just going to I think I want to darken it. Let's see how that feels. So it starts to feel pretty interesting. I'm gonna just like mask this piece here. And then I'm gonna put in another shape. Let's see what I got here. So just grab this and put it in there as well. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. And then we're just like, if we're just thinking that this is like the top div, what I'm going to do here is actually just shrink this down. Let's do 24. Let's do like 20. Let's get this to like 54. I might want that smaller. This is 27, which is huge. I think I'll make this like 48. just adjusting some of the spacing. Just make sure everything's centered to the artboard. I guess if I really wanted to, you could even place like, you could put the, you know, you can put a little bit of a, like a dithering effect on the background as well. Just have like a static like option. Could work. Feature blockchain is here. Let's see here. Carol's saying I need to proofread this. Hold on. Designed for speed, security, and seamless. Our platform empowers developers, businesses, and individuals to build and transact with confidence, whether you're launching an app, exploring contacts, or diving into decentralized. Thank you, Carol. See, you gotta make sure you proofread your chat GPT. Thanks, Carol. All right, so what we got here is that. Let's see here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add like a little bit of a. Always just use Grammarly, to be honest. That's smart. I was just trying to speed through. We don't got time. You know, it was a very quick project. I wasn't providing anything, so I gotta just make what I got. All right, let's see what we've got here. I'm gonna do like a customer validation section here. Just to give it a little bit more than just like a singular div for the website. Let's see here. Put this in here. I feel like this type is so big still. All right, this is 44 as well. Cool. Carol says $5, please. All right, it'll be in your blockchain. I got you, fam. I don't like the orphan. All right, that's fine. All right, all activity, and then we're gonna just grab these. And then I want it to be white. Let's just see. Just go based off of this width. We're not like gonna build like proper columns and grids for the website here. We're just gonna make stuff happen. All right, I'm gonna bump this up to 54. And then I'm gonna bump these all down to that, and then I'm gonna left align them. Cool. Just want these to be like pretty big callouts. Boom. And then I'm just going to group these together really quick just so I can make them a little bit. Just trying to get it all over there real quick. Boom, boom. For the end of the year party, that's funny. No, I agree, Carol. It definitely has its limits. There was a lot of mistakes on the one that it gave me for this content. Like, even Nell's noticing them on the stream. So, for sure. All right, let's see here. I'm just gonna go line, boom. And then Control C, Control F. And we'll just grab that, pull it across. Cool. All right, let me grab this, make sure that's aligned to the top there. Cool. Now we just want to make sure like we've got good spacing on everything. I think I don't love how big these are still. I'm going to bump it down to like 16, I think. Grab this, boom, boom, boom. I'm just gonna make sure I'm like using this as like spacing. Oop. Grab that, boom, boom, boom. And then just match that, match that. And slide that over. All right. And then I'll mask this out. And then I'll just like slide this up, and then we can just say like, all right, that's good enough for, you know, actually. Cool. Then we'll grab that there. And say, cool, now let's just shrink this artboard. And boom. Cool, so we've got just like a quick 2 divs for the website. I think this is like an interesting like approach. As he says, Carol, actually trustless is a thing. Users don't need to trust a central authority for the transactions. That's true. I think that last sentence was just like, I don't know, but I'm just going to delete it. I agree. I think the last sentence, that last bit is just confusing in general because it seems like this platform creates the trustless digital future rather than being a platform of trust in a trustless future. Yeah, that's how I'm trying to interpret what ChatGPT gave us and why it's broken on that. He wants 5 Bitcoins. Holy moly. Put your entire family through college with that. All right. Cool. So I think that's a really good start for this. Now let's start getting into collateral. I've got some fun mock-ups to do. Let's do... Actually, let's do this mock-up really quick. This is a free mock-up I got from anagramdesigns.graphics. Just gonna actually pull this in. I don't know why I clicked this. There we go. And then I'm just gonna throw it into the website mockup. Boom, smart object. It's not gonna fit entirely, so it's gonna be fine. Come on. Cool. And then I'm just going to grab this one that was live. And then I'm going to grab this and then mask it. and then we'll see what it looks like here. Thank you, Jack, for throwing that link in chat. All right, so we got that, and then I'm going to just adjust this bottom layer to give a little bit of like a blue tone to it, because I don't need the green. The green's not doing much for me. But the top gets crunchy, so let's try a different approach. Let's do, let's just do like a color balance on it. Cool, that works better. Probably a little bit too much. Cool. So now we've got this like cool mock-up of the website. You've got like the first two divs, boom, boom, boom. That works. I think in hindsight, this section here, too big right now. Like the blocks are too big. I would probably just change it up. But anyways, I think that's good. Let's just save it. And then just like, I don't need to export it right now. We'll just keep it. All right, I'm gonna close this. We're gonna work on the next thing. Cool, that's done there. So we got one laptop mock-up. Now let's do a billboard. Let's just knock it out. We got like 14 minutes left. Let's see what we can get done. Let's see. Grab this, throw it in, boom, smart object, whatever, great, awesome. We're gonna throw in a halftone. Let's go shapes, test shapes. Got this guy here. And then I can go to shape 2. Maybe I'll throw this in here. And then do darken on that. Maybe I don't love that. Let's see. What else I have? Yeah, that could be cool. Let's do that. And then we'll do grab this, boom. And cool. That could be interesting. Let's see. What kind of copy we want to use here? Let's pull in the see what we can do with this. Woo. All right, let's get that. That feels a little bit better. Oop, too tight. We want the logo in there. Smart object. Let's grab that, throw it in. Let's adjust this. Scalability meets security, built for the future. I'll probably need to, maybe I'll put the logo up top. The logo needs to be. Okay, and then should I put a little paragraph copy in there? Let's see. I'm just going to grab like a random placeholder paragraph and throw it in there. Boom. And then we'll do the logo. See how it looks on the poster. That's pretty slick. I like that. The logo on the top is all right. It's fine. Let me separate it. Let me see. I'm gonna move this here together and then create a group, and then just first option, I'm gonna duplicate it, Command J, and then I'm gonna go just flip it. And then just pull this down. Oh, you know what I can do is space mono for the logo. And then shrink it down a little bit. Maybe it's fine there. Let's see. Or I think swapping it back up to the top is actually probably a better move. Just grab this and just pull it down a tiny bit. Yeah, I think that's there. Let me just, all right, cool. That's, we got 5 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 5 minutes. 7 minutes actually. Let's see. Got a poster, we got a website, mockups. Oh yeah, sweet. Got a tote bag. And let's throw that in here. Boom. Let's grab the color for the handles, change that there. Boom, boom. Solid color. Boom. Let's grab the logo. Then grab that, put it here. And then just do like a little space mono. In the corner, make it smaller so it's a little bit more elegant. That's pretty sweet. Cool. Look at that. Took 2 seconds. Save that. See what we can do. We got 5 minutes. There's an old carbon 6 billboard mockup I had. So let me just swap that out. Is it 0 FF? Yep. Okay. Got that. We'll do the lowest billboard. Let's grab this. Just like 4 minutes. Let's grab this, throw it in here. Boom, boom, boom. And then throw in the white logo. I'm going to throw in a couple shapes real quick. I want grab that in there. Boom, boom, boom. Do a darken on that. Maybe that one will get tossed out. Let's just see. And then throw that in there, do darken on that. Boom. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn that off and then throw this one in there. Ooh. Jack saying flying through those mock-ups on a final few minutes. Yeah, it's my favorite. I love blitzing. Blitzing. We're blitzing through them. Let's do that up here. And then we can do like a logo. We could separate out the type. And then throw that on the bottom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. And then we can do like space mono. Above. And just snap that really quickly. Let's see how that looks. I'll probably pull it up just so it's not on this bottom border here real quick. Let me just do that real fast. Vector smart object. Up. Oh no. I don't know what happened there. All right, we're about to get cut off. So let's do a quick recap. We got the logos above it. This still needs a little bit of work. We got the laptop mockup. We got the tote bag done. We kind of got color scheme. We got this collateral system. We did the website mockup. We got, yeah. So I think really quick, within an hour, crushed it. Pretty happy with that. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. Drawing a blank is up next, so make sure you stick around for that, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.